Hello, all. Good evening. How's everybody doing? Another watch list. Reviewing September 18th and watch list for the 19th, Friday, last day of the week, tomorrow. A couple small things to go over. Small red day, about 1.5 hour. Nothing really set up. Nothing really triggered to size into. So took it easy. Open. Got it up on the screen, so I'll mention it. I had bought it on one of these green arrows, and when I went to set a stop at low a day and accidentally fat fingered and doubled my position. And this was not anything I was willing to risk 2R on, especially off a low a day. Maybe 2R off of like $8 or something, but definitely not taking a speculative position there. So I immediately sold it. Unfortunately, got kind of some slippage there. But then I kept that initial position and set it versus lows. Stopped, what was the low a day. I like this little flush out into close and reclaim. If you look out at the daily here, I guess my candles are in the way, but you can see how tight it is, and it's still holding over like this 980-ish spot, and a nice tight inside day. So it looks like it's shaping up pretty good, and I would give it another shot tomorrow. Definitely need to see 1060s, 1070s break, but is still a candidate for a possible swing. OPI was like a 0.2 R loss. It was literally nothing. I put on a starter just because it flushed straight down off the open, and sometimes you get those flushes that immediately reclaim. So I put some on and was looking for it to bounce while I was trading open, and I looked back at this and it just wasn't bouncing whatsoever. So I stopped out. I do like some strength coming in there midday, and the daily got a nice bottom wick on it. So I would give it one more shot tomorrow. I barely even a loss on it today, basically a flat trade being down that small. So I don't really consider it taking a loss on it, but nice hold of this 37 level. So if we're opening flat, I would use 37 as a risk and then look to join opening range highs. I don't know if we broke. That was 929 highs, so I guess it did break the opening highs there on that little shove, but so that was that one. And then LEU, I added to this position up to basically moving my average up. So I had that 211 average from this day. I had sold into the 240s, as you guys saw, and I was looking for this to set a higher low versus this 214, which it did. Got a nice gap up after the Fed reaction right there. Got rewarded with a gap up, steady, and then broke through this prior high right there in the 240s. So I added, I had to add twice just because I was trying to do the math and figure out how many I could buy without completely ruining an average. So I bought to a point where now I have a 222 average and risking 220. So I'm not 1R if I lose those $2 a share, but up $40 a share and risking 2 at this point. So obviously in hindsight, I wish I would have just kept adding because no down ticks were allowed on this name today. But we'll look to, if this doesn't immediately start to push off the open and break through this prior high in the 260s, I think most of the volume probably traded in the 250-ish range. So I think it did break out technically today. But if it has trouble with this prior high and doesn't break today's highs right away or gap through it tomorrow, I will look to lock some because I don't want to get caught in a position like this where it retraces a bunch of the move. And if I didn't lock from 2 to 240 and then it pulls back, maybe I get a bit uneasy there where now I have a clear head. So I don't want to get caught in that position being up $40 a share. I would love to lock some in if it looked like it was going to fail. If we gap and continue to go, I'll let the trade work and continue to ride my stop there. But up about 4.5 to 5R on that one with the swing. But haven't locked any of it in today, just ads. So those are the 3 trades today. Again, minus 1.5R on the day, but no problem with it. Risk reward on my end has been very strong for the last few weeks, managing trades, letting winners work, and doing that very well. So, Jeff, Lock Doc, what's going on? So same kind of thing. I just got home, so haven't ran through scans or anything. I'm just gonna peek through the names that I've had as recent runners on watch. Navini gapped and failed. Turb gapped and failed. MTVA continues to fizzle. Volume is gone there. OPI. Atch, wow, really unwound. Unfortunately, it didn't run today. Just the gap was like 20 something, 30%. I think it was in the high 20s at market open, so it was barely even exhaustion gap. Not something I look to trade ever. It was a fresh breakout, so no, I don't consider this a miss. A nice fade, but I don't think it had much predictability in my opinion. Wolf looking like a hard crack lower high. GoPro, even though open didn't break out, GoPro did go after I took that loss on it yesterday. So dumb. Air starting to fail. I could probably just set a price alert on that at like 150, maybe 140s. Probably just set a price alert and forget it. Lou, OPAD, open. Okay. So those ones not. OPI is the only one on my recent runners watch so far. Let's see what else we got. Anything else you guys want to touch on? ADAP, I think that one ran after hours a little bit. Yeah, started to run, gave it back. Brea, looks like a low floater. Yeah, any tickers you guys want to touch on or that you guys traded today, feel free to throw them out. Would love to take a look. I'm just going to go through watch list. And like I had said on one of my previous watch lists, where you can have a couple good trades a week, 1-2 trades, and size into those. You don't really have to trade every day. And that's kind of the approach I've been taking. It's been working very well this week. Just going from one setup to the next and not looking to trade anything and everything. Snap. Is that Snapchat? Decent little move. What else? No tickers? You guys got nothing? No one placed a trade today? No one has anything on watch? A-Bat. Nice little perk there. It's a decent looking chart. It's definitely a decent looking chart. Wow, that double top there in the 380s. This little cup and handle. Looks alright. Has a good history of multi-day runs. Don't really know how to enter it at this point. Like those, all those moving averages, the 10, the 20, and the 50, were all right here on these couple tight days. So you could, like, if I get a week open, I could probably look to scoop dips versus today's lows. That one there looks all right. Lock dock added to. Oh, you're adding to bros. Wow. Yeah, that thing's unwinding pretty nicely. Oh, bought back in. Okay. I was looking for that short trade. I had put it on my watch list on one of these days looking for that 63s breakdown, and it's been straight down ever since. Victoria is watching open, serve, and hover for breakouts. OPAD, FTFT, and Navini for breakdowns. Yeah, open I have on watch. Serve, yeah, that one doesn't look too bad either. Can remove this trend. We got this little lower high here through like the 1230s, 1240s. Comes back, retests. Nice little power move. Volume coming back in. It looks all right. Don't hate that look. I wish it was a bit tighter. Like the moving averages aren't right there. So I would probably leave that one be, but the daily does look all right. Hover. What's that one doing? Oh yeah, same kind of daily. Volume on the lighter side. But same kind of thing. Lower high break through those 190s. Volume starts to come in. Trend today was straight up off the open. What's FTFT? I haven't seen that one. No volume. I wish you had the balls to short. I have more confidence on the short side than the long side. I think it's just the nature of these small caps because they all deserve to go to zero. It's just a matter of when, not if. So I always have a lot more confidence on the short side. I find like I always refer to it as like gravity, where the gravity for small caps is down, is zero. The gravity for large caps is the moon. It's just because large caps and real blue chip companies, they have natural growth. Their revenues go up due to inflation, even if they don't grow the business, but they just sell it for more money. Therefore, revenues grow, profits grow. So the gravity of it is up. And the gravity for small caps is down because they just dilute their stock into the ground and reverse split and run that cycle over and over again. So when I'm longing large caps, I'm always a bit more confident in that swing idea just because they go up over time. But small caps, I like those multi-day runs because they should end up right back where they came from. How would you position size in different strategies? And when you buy the breakout, do you consider earnings surprise or any fundamental? I do not want earnings to surprise me. If I'm in a stock and holding overnight, I'm always looking at when their earnings is coming out because I do not want to be surprised. Fundamentals in terms of like dilution, I'm only looking at that with small caps. So with large caps, my fundamental research is to the extent of when is earnings and what sector is it in. Is it being dragged by an overall sector, a bigger picture move? Is there some sort of a leader? And then with small caps, my fundamental is like filings and dilution. And how would I position size in different strategies? Typically, I'm 1R across the board, whatever your risk is, $1,000, $10,000, $50, whatever you want to risk. And I deem that to be a 1R, whatever that size is for you. And then I do that across the board. And that's like my C plus to B grade risk is that 1R. And if I start getting into B plus, A plus, then I start to increase that position size. So something like ATCH, risking 1R, 2R, something like AIR risking 3R, I believe. OPI risking like 2 or 3R. Just start to, when you start getting those, these multi-day runners, like this is clean, looking for that first red day, I'm sizing up more than 1R on this and looking to add in. So I think my position size changes based on the grade of the setup, not so much the different strategy per se. how well it fits the criteria for that specific setup. Maybe it's understanding options? No, I don't think so. I don't think you need to understand options to short at all. Any interest in AMPX? I don't think so. Yeah, not really. I'd gauge this extension from like $8. That's kind of where it started to break out from. It wasn't tight enough in there. Wasn't enough sideways. It did come and curl off the moving averages, but it just wasn't tight enough. So I didn't trade it long for the breakout, and it's just not extended enough for me to short. It's up from 8 to 11. I mean, that's next to nothing for me. I like at least 100% looking for those mean reversion. After you add to a position, do you decrease your risk by lowering your stop loss? So I go about adding. I move my stop loss. So something like Atch I did yesterday, or even something like Lou. I just did that today. So I bought this 211 breakout right through here. I bought at 211 and risked low a day of 202. So I was risking $9 a share. Whatever your dollar risk is, so $9 a share, say you're risking $900 a trade, you could take 100 shares, risking $9, and let that trade work however you want. Kulamagi preaches that you sell about a quarter, 3 to 4 days after, which would be up there in like the 40. So if you had 100 shares risking $9, and now it's gone from 211 to 241, you're up $3 a share. So now you lock in 25 shares of your 100, and you're up $30 a share, $750, and you were risking $900. So you've locked in a quarter of your position, and you've already made, 3/4 of what your initial risk was. So then here I am adding, because now we've got a push, pullback, and a new breakout looking left through these 240s, 250s. So now I can add to this position, because now I'm not risking 202 anymore. Now I'm risking 220. So I'm up on the position, and even if I got stopped out, I'm still taking a profit. But I think this is going to go much higher, so I'm going to add to this position, bring my average up to here. So say you're still risking $900, and now I've added here, and I have $2 of risk. So if I'm risking I can have up to 400 shares up here at 222, risking 220, and then you're $40 a share in the money on those 400 shares. Now you're up way more. What is that? 16 grand, I think. Yeah, 16 grand, I'm pretty sure. I did the math right. So I'm always, when I'm looking to add, I'm looking to move that risk level to a new spot to keep my dollar risk in check. So I'm never risking more than I'm comfortable losing. Sometimes that's 2R, 3R. It's a multiple just because the setup calls for it, and I think it's A+. But I'm still looking to, if I'm risking that $900, but I think that this setup is so good, I need to risk 1,800 or 2,700, a multiple of that R, then I add double or triple the position, and I'm accepting that bigger loss. But when I'm adding and scaling into it, I'm moving my risk along the way and keeping that dollar risk in check. LockDoc says he knows something is done and breaking down, but I don't know what the option to buy. I guess it's a put that I buy, but I've gotten it wrong. And note, I'm scared too. Okay. What is your A grade for consolidation breakdown? Since sometimes I found you don't bother to zoom in the screeners to find all the consolidation breakdown stocks. Well, like a lot of these ones that you like, Navini is definitely not a consolidation breakdown. This is a breakout, so that doesn't fit a consolidation breakdown. FTFT traded 100,000 shares today on a $2 stock. I mean, I could trade that if I wanted to. And then OPAD is wedging. This one's a sympathy to open. So I see this breakdown. If it were to lose $4 tomorrow, then maybe I look to short it. But like an A grade consolidation breakdown, the last one I traded was Jobby, where you got this big front side move, consolidation, daily clear out, hard crack, lower highs, and then failed fall through under those 16s. There's a consolidation breakdown, chops really tight, and then another 14 consolidation breakdown. So that's what my A grade consolidation breakdown looks like. I think that's the last one I've traded on it, on that setup. I'm looking for volume, tradable volume. I'm looking for good daily range, in play stocks that I think traders are on the wrong side so that I get that trigger. When they need to stop out, I'm looking to short. And like you say, I'm not typically diving deep into scans because as I go deeper, I've got them sorted by volume. So as I go to the 8th page, 10th page, the volume starts to get illiquid, and I don't want to be trading those anyways. But when you get names that are trading 100, 200, 500 million shares a day, and their range is, multiple of an ATR of their average true range, those are the ones I want to focus on. That's where I want my attention. Hims, nice little curl on that one. Not tight enough, but moving averages are starting to bottom. On my other chart there, it reclaimed its 50-day. That one looks all right. It's reclaimed. The 50-day, 10 and 20 are in here. It's not super tight. So if it were to tighten, maybe get something like this to explode out of. OPAD for a 4 breakdown is one of the few short setups that I'm currently seeing. Yeah, I see it. I'd have more confidence in it if open was pulling back. It did have, I think at least one offering over here, and I think it had another offering. I think it's had 2. But again, if everybody is buying this as an open sympathy, and you think open starts to break out, and this one, like open's gone on plenty of runs since, what day is this? August 28th is back here. Like open has ran a ton. It's doubled since then, and OPAD hasn't gone any higher since then. So if everybody is long looking for this as an open sympathy and then it starts to break trend, I could see that working. IONQ on a tear. Oklo, wow, that thing's at 105s. Jeez. Crazy moves. It's the power of these large caps in a bull market. When they want to go, they go. I see AMPX on my extended scan. It's just not quite extended enough. BLSH, a little bottom bounce. ABAT is a waste management company. What do they do? American Battery Technology engages in development and marketing lithium-ion batteries. Include a recycling plant. The company was founded in 2011. Engages in developing and marketing of batteries, and it's going to do a recycling plant. Huh. Is there any reason why it got volume today? Fourth quarter. Nearly triples its quarterly revenues. 180% increase in quarterly revenues. It has again your triple. It releases its fiscal 20 for the period. So it's an earnings winner. I like that. I like that a lot. It's weird that it didn't pop up as earnings. Usually I get a little tag on there for the earnings, but yeah, ABAT looks all right. I'd add that to the list. What else? What else? What else? What's CoreWeave and all those things doing? That thing's starting to tighten. It's reclaimed its 50-day, starting to wick. It's holding up pretty good. Like that 125 breakout doesn't look bad. It looks all right. I don't know. What's Circle doing? Starting to bounce. Let me finish running these scans and then I'll look into CoreWeave a bit more. OUST, decent little breakout there. Hover, Aerospace and Defense. It's that same kind of chart. We've seen it on a bunch of names. Yeah, that was one of the ones Victoria had mentioned. Chegg, that looks like it wants to break out. Bunch of these are just subpar. I'm just like noticing the setups, but they're not like high quality. Do you have maximum stocks you want to trade every day? I always find too many stocks to trade. If you're finding too many stocks to trade, then you need to narrow down your criteria on what it is you trade, what you're good at, and zone in my opinion. I mean, if you're a high frequency trader, then I'm not the guy to ask, but I'm typically trading anywhere from 0 to, on like a busy day, is 7 or 8 names. But like that's like a busy day. Like today, like 2 tickers. Yeah, like on an average day, I'd probably say between like 1 to 3 tickers. On a slow day, 0. On a busy day, 7 or 8. But yeah, it just depends. Maximum stocks, like I've got 1, 2, 3, basically 4 charts that I can trade like 4 stocks at once. But that's if I'm getting entries in all of them, because once I get an entry with my style, it's a lower frequency where it's a daily chart setup that like when I'm looking for an entry in lieu, and then once I take that entry, I can set a stop at low a day and not watch it. So I wait for that trigger, I buy it, set my stop, this can go off, and I can, watch something else. And then this one, I didn't even have a stop on it, but open. There we go. I bought it, set a stop at low a day. I don't have to watch it. Let's watch something else. So I can trade 4 names at once if I'm actively in them. And that's typically like my mental capacity, but I've traded as much as like 8 at once in one morning session, and it's like busy. I feel exhausted after. Okay, one more scan here. Just a couple names. Yeah, OPAD looks like it wants to roll over. That's hitting my failed follow through scan. What else? Okay, I might as well look at what Kyle's watching. Because we trade similarly anyways. Okay. I don't really know what to do with that thing. So I can't short names. It's too extended to long, and it's not high priced enough to short. So I don't really know what to do with it. I guess I can put it on watch because it is up 100%, but don't really care. Little tightening on that one. I'll check on what Nate's watching as well. Sometimes our ideas overlap as well. He likes trading those quantums, but I don't really have a ton of interest in trading them. You like soon. CVNA. Meh. Yeah, I was gonna look at what CoreWeave was, if they've got any news or anything. Meh. Don't really care. It is like this little trend is fairly clean. Right there. Where it's touch, touch, touch. And now it's tightening right under it. Ugh, do I buy that tomorrow? A 125 break, risk lows, and try and get a run out of it like this? We haven't had a tight flag day like that. Now it's reclaimed the 50-day. I'm going to have to put this on watch. I think it's worth a 1R risk. Through these recent highs, 125s. Buy 125s, set a stop at low a day, and ideally get a multi-day run out of it. So, ABAT, if I get a week open, I could see that being a little trigger. It is up on earnings. That typically has legs. It's ran in the past, had multi-day runs, and this could be an early entry if it's going to break through 380s and get a nice risk-reward position. So I could see that one as a possible swing. OPI, I'd give it a shot tomorrow if it's green on the day. What else? Lou, look to lock some pieces into any speed up. OPAD, maybe a 4 breakdown. Open, 1060s breakout. So those would be my ideas there. Open, Lou, ABAT, and CoreWeave are long swing ideas. OPAD, daily failed fall through, and OPI for screen day. And you see I can categorize those into setups. If I don't have a setup to name it, I don't want to trade it. Put that on a t-shirt. If I don't have a setup to name it, If I can't name it, I don't want to trade it. Put that on a t-shirt. If you were going long in a stock like CoreWeave at 125, what would you consider looking for intraday aside from the price of 125 crossing? I think OUST did it today. Yeah, something like this, where it pushes, sets a high, and then builds back throughout the morning. And typically I like opening range breaks. I've gotten in trouble in the past where they push, pull, and like 1 minute opening range break. So ideally it's like at least 5, maybe 15 minutes breaks its opening range and then risk the lows. So like if CoreWeave opens tomorrow and I could paint a picture of what I'd like to see. If this thing, let's go to a multi-day chart. So this thing opens, call it 122s. It pushes up to 125s, pulls back, consolidates in like a, maybe a 125 to 123 range, and consolidates in like this $2 range, and then re-breaks 125s. I just like some consolidation. I like it to test and then have the intraday high line up with the daily high, and then I can trust that level for a break. The guy who shorted open, Martin Shkreli. He ain't no that guy. He is in like he knows what he's talking about with biotechs, shorting fundamentally on biotechs. And if you guys were around probably like 10 years ago, KBIO, I doubt it'll show a chart. Yeah, you can't see a chart, but it was years ago, probably 10 years ago. And Martin Shkreli ran that thing from like 4 to 50 in after hours. And then one day he got arrested, stock promotion, but he's still got millions of dollars, so he trades publicly. But he's like a celebrity in the stock world, penny stocks. So basically like your ad on Lou, that's how you would buy CoreWeave. Wait for the move higher or higher lows, consolidation. Yeah, Lou didn't have an intraday high break. It just broke out of its daily level. But like something like CoreWeave, if it were to top out, like call this 125 on CoreWeave, and then consolidate for 5 to 15 minutes, and then buy it through its opening range highs. But if it pushes into 125s, does price action like this, and then breaks 125, that's like an A grade entry criteria. But yeah, if it does something like this, where it just steady grinds, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, I buy a 125 trigger as long as the risk reward to low a day makes sense, which it would on CoreWeave, because it's at 122 right now. So if this breaks through these, what's this high? 124.9. 125.76. So like I could look at this day and see what it did and try to not get wicked out like it did on that day. You see? This is exactly what I'm talking about, where that 1 minute high break, where it sets a high, consolidates, and then breaks. And in the past, I've been buying this because now it's an intraday high a day break, an opening range break, but it's only over 1 or 2 minutes. And then it breaks 125s, pushes a little, and slams. But it didn't consolidate. I need like consolidation if I'm going to buy strength. Something tight. So that 125 still looks like key because it barely pushed through it. So even though it technically set a new high, it barely pushed through it and slammed right back down. But yeah, if it breaks 125, there's a trigger. I keep it simple. Buy a trigger, have a risk that makes sense. Gritani once told me, have a plan, trust the setup. What's the setup? A breakout. How often do they work? 30% of the time. What's the risk reward on them? 5 to 1, 10 to 1. Is that a profitable risk reward to win rate dichotomy? Yes. So have the plan and trust the setup. Put that on a t-shirt. So yeah, not nothing flashy tomorrow. Nothing that, hey, this is the one, but same kind of thing as yesterday and today, going into the next day. Few ideas, and see if the setups trigger. So with that being said, get those 2 t-shirts made. And those are my plans. Then tomorrow's Friday, so I will not see you guys until the watch list for next week. Unless you're in Investors Underground, feel free to shoot me a line over there. But take it easy, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. I appreciate the chat and questions. It's always nice having some interaction, not just me rambling on. So have a great evening, you guys, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.